Hey guys, my name is Christina.
My name is Brian, and welcome to What the F*** Did I Just Watch?
Where every week we will be rolling a 26-face die that will determine the first letter of the movie we will watch this week.
The twist is that one of us, or both of us, have never seen the movie before.
So join us as we share our thoughts on the movie.
I mean, that's gonna be horrible, but yes, absolutely.
Have a few laughs.
Stop it. And discuss what the f*** we just watched.
Hey, Pants.
Hello, Tina.
What do you get when you get a nurse? Wait. What do you have when you get a nurse, a policeman, a young married couple, a salesman, and other survivors of a worldwide plague that is producing aggressive flesh-eating zombies?
The village people.
Dawn of the Dead!
God, I thought there was actually going to be a punchline.
There is. That was the synopsis for this week's movie. Minus take refuge in a mega Midwestern shopping mall. This sounds like the opening
so
of a really
creative.
bad joke.
I don't think it does.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, the synopsis, maybe.
Yes.
Okay.
Hi.
Anyway, hi.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Not you.
Oh,
Our fellow listeners.
thank you, all 40 of you.
We're 40 strong.
It's like a small cult.
Yeah.
The cage cult, as it were.
We're 20 over AMC's limit for a theater.
You're right.
Yeah.
You cannot fit all of our listeners into a private screening of Quiet Place 2.
So many of you.
It would cost $300 for all of our listeners to see Quiet Place 2.
Mm-hmm. And in separate theaters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
How tragic.
Poor guys.
Anyways.
So this week, or just kidding, last week, we rolled a big old D.
D.
Tina rolled it, ironically.
Yeah, D's nuts.
And the original plan was to watch The Dark Tower with Matthew McConaughey and Idris Elba. That fell through due to neither of us wanting to pay for it.
Correct.
Because I've seen it. It's not great. I don't want to pay for it.
Yes.
And the only place that it's streaming is on FX Now, which requires an FX subscription or a cable service, which, who has cable?
Yeah.
I mean, I have it, but I also use my mother's cable subscription to get extra channels. So,
Indeed.
yeah.
Thanks, Mom and Dad. In your case, thanks, Mom. No, but shout out to my parents who provide me with Disney Plus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good for them. Shout out to Neely's brother, Zach, who provides my Disney Plus. Appreciate it. That's how we're going to watch Black Widow. Anyway, so we did not watch Dark Tower, as you can tell by the title and Tina's synopsis.
Yes.
We watched 2004's Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead, which, for the record, I tried very hard to not watch. But being Pants' friend, if anything, has taught me that I don't usually get my way.
You're not wrong. But also, last night, I texted you and I was like, would you rather just do Dawn of the Dead? And you were like, sure.
You took advantage. I was exhausted.
I saw an opening.
Yeah, I was leaving work 3 hours past when I was supposed to.
Yep.
So.
It was the perfect timing.
Indeed. Caught me in a moment of weakness.
Yep. So, anyway, as I stated, this was a 2004 movie, which is a remake of George A. Romero's original Dawn of the Dead, which I did not write down what year it came out. So that's unfortunate.
Embarrassing.
Indeed. It was directed by Zack Snyder. It was his directorial debut. And it was written by James Gunn, who most of us know now from the Guardians of the Galaxy series, the Belko Experiment, and he wrote the Scooby-Doo live-action movies.
Oh, that's adorable.
Indeed. So he's come a long way.
So this movie is starring Sarah Polley, Ving Rhames, Mekhi Phifer, and Jake Weber. Their budget was $26 million, and they grossed in U.S. and Canada $59 million.
It might be Jake Weber, because there's one B. Not sure. So, sorry, Jake.
So sorry, Jake.
The IMDb score for Dawn of the Dead was 7.3, and the Rotten Tomatoes score is 76% with an audience score of 77%.
That is the closest I have ever seen the Rotten Tomato and audience score be.
Didn't it match for Die Hard?
I don't think so.
One of the ones it matched.
This is the closest that I've seen.
No,
that
I'm leaving the other
score
one in.
Since Die Hard.
Yeah, Die Hard definitely did it before this one, so you've seen it before.
Why are you ugly to me?
I'm
Let
not
me
being
fix
ugly.
it.
It's funny.
I hate you.
And we watched this from iTunes because I own this movie. It is not streaming anywhere.
No, sorry guys.
So, so can't really go watch it. So, I hope you've seen it.
Unless you've already seen it.
Yeah.
Then join us.
Or go buy it because I liked it. But we'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
Tina.
Yep.
What were your initial thoughts of The Dawn of the Dead?
I've said this once. I'll say it a million times.
Good.
I do not like movies involving zombies.
Mm.
I don't know what it is, but I can watch other scary movies and be okay. Zombies haunt me in my dreams.
Mm.
So a few nights ago, Liv was watching
Resident
Evil. Mm-hmm. That night I got literally minimal sleep because I just had zombies on the brain. And then last night, same.
Wow.
Yeah. It was terrifying. I did not enjoy that at all. So.
But what about the movie?
I do not like zombies.
Okay.
Yeah. It was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. There were a few parts that I did not like. I'm going to call her out. I asked Liv to give me a heads up if there was going to be something really graphic, because one thing I really can't stand is somebody eating somebody else's flesh. I don't know if it's the noise that they put behind the action or just watching somebody tear into somebody's skin. But it makes my stomach turn in a way that is more than just uncomfortable. Like, it makes me feel ill, and I don't like it. Liv did not hold her end of the bargain.
I mean, in her defense, when was the last time she saw this movie?
Yeah, she kept saying it's been a long time, but then she also prefaced our watching the movie with, "This is my favorite zombie movie, and I'm so excited you're watching it," and then didn't remember any of the parts. So I don't know if you're a liar, honey, or if you just weren't on your A game last night, but you made this experience worse for me because I trusted you.
This is not the place to vent your marital affairs.
I still love her, but I'm going to kick her ass.
Okay.
It's cool. It's just in the future when something like this pops up and she puts her trust in me, then I'll just reciprocate the favor. Remember that time that you didn't back me up while we watched Dawn of the Dead?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like this was the right movie for you.
Yeah.
If you don't enjoy flesh being eaten.
Nope, I really don't. But there were parts of the movie that were funny because of how outrageous it was.
Yes.
We can get into that when we get into spoilers. But right off the bat, this movie made my eye twitch a little
turn
bit.
Inside out.
That would be gross. No, we'll get into it.
Okay.
Pants.
One more thing in her defense.
Oh, sure.
Is that this was the unrated cut. So there is a chance that there was a certain level of graphic violence that was not in the one that she saw.
Sure.
Probably years and years ago.
Sure.
That said, I don't have the other one, and I haven't seen the other one in a long time because I've just owned this one.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know the difference. So
either way, she didn't tell me anything.
Okay, well, I do think there's one part that we can get into that was definitely not as graphic in the theatrical cut, but we'll get there. Zack Snyder loves his unrated director's cuts.
He really does.
He does. So, anyway, I also love this movie. It is a very fun zombie movie.
Is it?
It is. It is. It's kind of lighthearted.
Okay.
It's not scary in like the traditional sense.
Okay.
There's really not jump scares. There's just a lot of graphic eating of flesh.
Oh God.
And
I don't know why, but just hearing you say graphic eating of flesh triggered me a little bit.
well, I'm still quite hungry.
Yeah.
So
That's gross.
yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's funny. Like there's a lot of comedy in the movie, and I
Sure.
think that's definitely James Gunn coming through, because like it's a lot of his sense of humor, and he tends to whenever he does like darker movies or like pseudo horror movies, they do tend to have like a comedic aspect to them. But yeah, anyway, you're just looking at me like I'm crazy. But
It's zombies pants. I told you I wasn't going to have a good, like,
well, you agreed to it.
again,
And it was
I was
your role
tired
this week.
and you took advantage. So let's get into it. Spoiler warning. So I know I was being funny in the beginning, but here's your synopsis. So a nurse, a policeman, a young married couple, a salesman, and other survivors of a worldwide plague that is producing aggressive flesh-eating zombies take refuge in a mega Midwestern shopping mall.
Love that.
I want to start off with saying that I really miss the old school zombies that did not run at athletic speeds. That is terrifying. And that made me so uneasy. I really...
They're fit. Yeah.
For real. Even the bigger ones. Like, suddenly they have mega speed involved with zombie apocalyptic changes to their bodies. I don't know. What happens? I can't even tell you the first time that I saw one of them running, because I'm sure I closed my eyes. Because
Oh, it was definitely the little girl, Vivian, I think her name was, in the beginning. Whenever Anna, played by Sarah Polley, gets home. She's a nurse. And she's
Which,
like...
by the way, I'm so sorry to cut you off, but there's so many opportunities for her to know what is going on. And it's funny because I feel like sometimes with people too, they'll hear like an announcement or we'll get Amber Alerts. Like, how many of you out there have your Amber Alerts silenced?
They're scary.
And they are alarming. But when it comes to addressing the public, like there were 2 radio stations that she totally skipped over that were making the announcement about something that was going on. And I thought that was pretty hysterical, because that's true. That's how people behave. They're looking for music. She found a station that had music and she just kind of left it. And then I think there was an announcement on TV. Oh yeah, and they just happened to be in the shower having sex, like right in that moment, for the only time that it was broadcasted that there was, a plague.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. If only she had a fun podcast to listen to on the way home. She wouldn't have to listen to the radio.
Yeah, it would have been lapsed though, or it would have been. What am I trying to say? Sorry, let me rewind. It would have been delayed though. Like, because we record these in advance. So her podcast wouldn't have told her of the...
Oh, no, I was just saying for
event.
her entertainment purposes. She wouldn't have to be searching. She would just have
she
her
would just
reliable
know.
Friday
Right.
podcast.
Like the 40 of you.
Yeah. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends.
We'll tell you about it. We'll tell you about events.
But yeah, she, they, as you said, have sex in the shower, and then Vivian, the little girl, like comes into the room, I guess, and she's all like drenched in shadow and mysterious, like, and they're like, Vivian, what's wrong, honey? And then she just fucking attacks him and like rips his like carotid artery
Disturbing.
out. Yeah, it's a lot of blood.
I think that's a problem for me too.
Yeah,
I don't-
it's a zombie movie.
I don't think that blood itself bothers me, because
Well, good, you're a woman.
I worked in a field where you see that all the time.
Yeah, and periods.
What is wrong with you? Damn it, Pants. I really think that it's the sound effects that are placed behind the crunching, squelching. I hate all of those words. Like,
Squelch.
I watch movies with subtitles, so that all of you know. And yeah, when it says squelching, I just, man, that's moist for me, guys.
Okay. Well, I love a good squelch. So yeah, that's kind of the first time we see that these aren't your mama's zombies. as it were. And they do run and they jump and they're parkouring and all this shit. And yeah, the way that Vivian, like, because I guess Anna like pushes her back into the hallway, and the way she just like hops up into like stance.
Yeah, it was like super ninja mode.
Yeah, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, so anyway,
I forgot about that. That was really disturbing too. How quickly she was able to regain her balance or whatever you want to call it.
That's something else that they established really quick. And I mean, especially nowadays where we are kind of inundated with different zombie shit.
Sure.
In 2004, it wasn't that big of a thing. I think the only other thing to come out around this, 28 Days Later came out, and that actually, I think, don't fact check me, but I think that's where the fast zombies came in. But they weren't actually called zombies. It was like a rage virus or something, but they did the same shit. And I mean, and Shaun of the Dead also came out that year. But
I enjoy Shaun of the Dead, with the exception of that scene where the zombies are like holding, I forget who it was.
Are you going to spoil Shaun of the Dead for anybody?
Oh, it's a possibility. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
There's a really graphic scene, and I told you I'm really bad about it.
Yeah.
There's, especially when we're just talking, because it's,
we
you've
did that
seen
a couple weeks ago where we just spoiled a shit ton of movies. We can't do that again. We need to maintain at least 40 listeners, Tina.
Okay, you're right. There's a really graphic scene in Shaun of the Dead that gets me every time. That involves bowels.
Great story.
And that's all I'll say.
Cool. That is streaming somewhere because I watched it. I think HBO Max has Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, yeah. I remember we were going to watch it the other night, but then we didn't.
Wow.
Which is so weird because I really don't like zombie movies, but I think that because that one has a really light air to it, and I love those two main characters, I think they are hysterical together, I can sit through that movie. But I don't watch any of the squelching consumption of flesh.
The squelching consumption of flesh.
Yep.
Love that. Nowadays we have like 4 different Walking Dead shows. We have, I think they're still making like blank of the Dead movies. George A. Romero has passed away, but I think they're like finishing up his unfinished movie now. But we just have a lot of zombie movies. And, World War Z also had the fast zombies, and also a good movie. But this one quickly established that they're very fast, they're agile, and they the quickness that they turn is like very fast.
Yeah. But it's weird because there's a lot of inconsistencies in the movie with that. Like, there are moments where they choose to elongate that process, or sometimes they make it really quick depending on how they're going to, I guess, introduce some kind of death or injury to somebody. So it does happen very quickly, but there is definitely inconsistencies in that. Challenge me. Go.
I am. Like what? Tell me.
The woman that they have inside of the mall, the one that they have in the bed, I don't remember her name, but she's the first one out of that group that came in the van or the truck.
The larger braless lady?
Yes. She turns into a zombie at a slower rate than Luda, because he had time to, or maybe it was the other way around. She turned quicker. I don't know. But he, regardless, had time to like kiss her multiple times, cry over her body, mess with her belly for a little bit, and then she sprung up.
Okay. So the rebuttal for that is the woman that in the wheelbarrow that they brought in.
Okay.
She took her last breath while they were all standing there talking.
Okay.
And then turned. So it was like a minute after she took her last breath, she turned. So they have to be dead for this to happen. The bite doesn't mean anything until you die.
Sure.
And for Luda, she got bitten like at the beginning of the movie, and the infection started, creeping in. And I think the whole thing takes place, I don't know, I read it yesterday, like a couple of weeks maybe.
Okay.
Could be wrong. I don't know. But anyway, whenever she like closes her eyes, that's when, he kisses her and like looks at her belly a little bit. And in that time she dies. I mean, it's
So
probably
I'm
it's still
not
about a
saying,
minute.
like the time from when they. Oh, okay. So we are on the same page.
Yeah.
We're talking about post-mortem to
Right.
into zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like it was inconsistent.
I don't think so. I just think they like hovered more on it with them because they're like the couple and you kind of know what's coming.
I see.
And with the other woman, she died and about the same amount of time has passed, but you're focusing on the other characters while she like sits up in the background.
I don't know. Maybe we can just agree to disagree.
I mean, okay, sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm right, but we can
Barely
continue.
ever, but no.
Also, as soon as they introduce that couple, when they find each other, like when the policeman finds Anna, and then they're walking and they find that group, as soon as I saw that she was pregnant, I looked at Liv and I said, I do not fuck with baby zombies. That is horrible. Are they about to do something to her? And she was like, being all like secretive. And I was like, damn it. Of course they would. This is that kind of movie. Of course they're going to do it. Sure enough, there was a zombie baby. Ugh.
I mean, Tim Buck says she didn't remember. That's why she didn't tell you. I think she has a lot of favorite movies.
I will not take you up on that bet because I don't want to lose $10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think... I mean, they should have taken it further with the zombie baby. Like, I have a lot of questions.
Okay.
It's something that The Walking Dead has not done, and I mean, I hesitate to say, but I've watched all The Walking Dead now and Fear. They don't have zombie babies.
They don't. That's what I'm saying. Nobody wants to mess with zombie babies.
Because babies, like, there's been pregnant people on those shows, but they've never been bitten while pregnant. Or a baby has never been bitten. We've seen kids turn, like 8, 9, and up.
Sure.
But not a baby. So why didn't they keep the baby just to see what happens? It can't really do much. Maybe it could be a distraction for the rest of the zombies. Like, you just hold it out, and they're like it's just another person. And
it's just another person.
Yeah, you put a mask on it. Yeah. It don't have teeth. What's it gonna do? Just like gum you? As long as it doesn't break skin, you're fine.
Yeah, I guess so, Pants.
I mean, someone's gonna breastfeed it. I don't know who.
Yeah.
Or just bottle of blood.
Do zombies age?
That is also in my notes. I want to know.
Yeah. There were also inconsistencies in how zombies would do certain actions, but then have no repercussions on their bodies.
Like what?
So the very first little thing where we start introducing zombies when her husband or boyfriend or whatever turns, and she's fleeing to her car and she gets inside, he hops on the top of her car,
right,
and punches the windshield. Thank you. I don't know why that wouldn't come to my face. And he's running after the car, and he...
What came in your face?
Excuse me.
I'm sorry, what?
I don't know why it didn't come to me.
Oh, it's not like it said something came in your face.
I'm done with you. Okay. And he's running after her, also at athletic speeds, by the way, which is terrifying. There's nothing wrong with his hands. If you're going to do that kind of impact, I don't care if you're dead or alive or somebody's just forcing your hand to do that, you're going to have damage and potentially some broken digits. So
it didn't really show you a close-up of his hand afterwards.
Yeah, it did. I saw. I was looking for it because I wanted to find fault in this movie.
And I did. Even though zombies get damaged, it doesn't affect them until you break their brain.
Sure.
So,
but even when they hit things, nothing happens, or they already have broken body parts and it looks exactly the same. I want some follow through.
Okay. I don't even know what to tell you.
It's because you like this movie too much.
I mean,
also
pretty scientifically accurate.
Why is you're telling me that on a beautiful, gorgeous day, the mall is completely deserted? Is it a holiday? Did they ever establish that in the movie?
No, but I think it's pretty early because doesn't her alarm go off and it's 6?
I couldn't tell you.
I want to say, unless I watched something right after this movie that had a close-up of an alarm clock, I think did the little girl come in the morning?
I mean, it's possible. I really don't know. I just know that it was daylight out. But like the thing that I thought was, I mean, okay, yes. I guess if the zombie apocalypse took place like that afternoon going into the evening, then there's already quite a bit of chaos. Because I know she hits that tree and then time passes and then she goes to the mall.
Sure.
But like there were no cars there at all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to assume that that she was knocked out for a bit, and the world is kind of already falling apart. It's all over the news. People's loved ones are eating them, and there's just zombie babies everywhere, and we're like, why? But yeah, I would assume it's either early or the mall is closed because there's a zombie apocalypse, which is, I think, a good reason to close.
I accept. It's still creepy.
Sure. I did think that the reporter that was or not the reporter, the news channel that was showing like the White House correspondent, like hit kind of close to home because of just like the questions they were asking and the answers that were being given just in like the last year that we've had as a world. And I mean, some of the things that like the White House rep was saying is, we don't know, we don't know what this is. We don't know why. We don't know how it's spreading. The reporters are like, is it airborne? And they're like, we don't know. And I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah. The only question he could answer was, what did he say? What did he say? He said, is it a military or a health hazard? And he was like, both.
Yeah.
And that's the only answer he could really give them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
and I mean, those answers were better than what's her tits gave to.
Oh wow, what's her tits?
I forget her name and I don't care. That little blonde bitch that Trump had.
I did think that it was hysterical that security was still alive and held up in the mall, and they were like, no.
Yeah, I can only assume that they got there for like their shift before it happened, or they stayed after or something. Yeah, I don't know that mall security has like firearms like that. Paul Blart didn't, I don't think.
I guess it just depends on what mall.
Sure, they look like a pretty nice mall.
What part of America are you in? Are you in Texas? Because then they definitely have them.
Well, everybody does.
That's what I'm saying.
It's totally legal for everybody to have a gun for no reason in Texas.
Yep. Okay, so when Luda and Andre are together, I guess that Andre has secluded Luda because he obviously knows that she's turning into a zombie. So we're fast forwarding a few weeks into this process right before she turns. That was sick.
Oh, we're going to the end now?
Or I was just jumping around.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to be done, but that's just one thing that's set in my mind that I wanted to talk about. It was really disturbing to me. And, it kind of poses the question, like, I've never been in an apocalyptic scenario before with my wife carrying my baby, but that zombie baby, it is.
I think she slept with somebody else.
What a terrible way to find out. Oh, this baby isn't alive.
Fools.
Fools. It was super uncomfortable. I'm telling you, zombie babies just get my ass. Like, and I had a feeling that it was going to be a zombie baby, but I wasn't sure which way they were going to go with it, because I feel like at this point with movies, I just have to be open-minded to them throwing any kind of curveball at me. But it was super disturbing to see that baby's like eyes grayed over, and then it opened its mouth and just that shrieking squeal. You would have kept it?
Yeah, why not? I mean, one, babies are hella expensive to acquire for gay couples. So I'm gonna take what I can get. It's doing the thing where it's like, you're too loud.
I'm sorry. Why? What is happening right now?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm gonna take what I can get, and also not get too attached, because I know if it grows, I'm probably gonna have to like shoot it.
Yeah, or you could just attach it to a tree. I don't know how, like while
I
it's
just
little.
hate when people do that to dogs. And dogs can walk.
Well, I guess you could get a reinforced beam built into your also very protected home and attach it to that if you want to.
I don't know.
You just wanted to...
Just get like a dog cage.
Oh, like a little she shed where you keep the zombie baby.
Yeah. Like, don't go out there.
A little trap door where you just like throw in little scraps of meat.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, for him
Is
to
it
gum,
only human flesh or can they have like anything? Because then you're going to have to worry about how are you going to acquire human flesh?
yeah, they only do human, like hence Chit, the dog. They don't care about
Other
animals.
things.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
I'm probably have to kill some people. Or maybe if they can eat, if they're okay eating other zombies, then I can just kill zombies. But I don't know that they are because they all seem pretty like okay with each other.
Right.
So
They just want brains. What happened to zombies just wanting brains?
I don't know. That was very
it's still graphic.
Night of the Living Dead, I think. Yeah. I did think it was interesting that they kind of abandoned what like the original Dawn of the Dead was about. And it has like the same structure, but George Romero's whole thing with his of the Dead movies was like speaking on like certain topics. I think the original Dawn of the Dead was speaking on like consumerism and how all these zombies were flocking to the mall because that's what they were used to doing. Because they were just always buying and always wanting more shit and whatever. It's a heavy-handed way of putting it, but
I gotcha.
They kind of mention that in this. The cop is like, I guess, just wondering out loud why they're all coming there. And he says, it could be instinct or habit or something along those lines. And that's kind of the only mention of it.
Yeah.
But it's much more worried about blood and gross shit.
Yes.
So I did think it was funny that the preacher guy on the TV. Was blaming all this on homosexuals and abortion.
And sin.
Yes.
Yes. And consumerism.
Did he
I'm
say that?
just kidding. I don't know.
No, he didn't say
but
that.
I did also get annoyed that the last person available to be broadcasted is this asshole.
It's kind of like Joel Osteen. Like, how he just like holed himself up and like didn't help anybody. That's probably what this guy's doing. Yeah.
And just broadcasts his hate.
Exactly. That guy though,
No more room in hell.
Thank you for saying that.
What did he? No, but wait, what did he say? Oh, sorry.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth. That is from the original. And I think this guy who played that evangelist on TV, that guy was in the original.
Oh.
He was one of the core group.
Nice.
And I want to say he actually said that line. So that was a nice touch.
Yeah.
The sheriff guy on the TV was also in the first one. I forget who he was. But the guy who was like, you got to shoot him in the head. Yeah.
That was so ridiculous. I just like that he was like, he thought he was so damn cool.
Yeah.
And
he was like, that one's twitching.
Yeah. It's a twitcher. America always sorts their shit out. That's what he said.
Oh, no, I know.
And I
also know who he would have voted for.
Super shocked.
So.
Yeah. So, they also, like, you can tell this movie is definitely from the 2000s. I mean, I still think they do it, but like their usage of some derogatory language is so present. And I mean, they use the word faggot, and I don't think I've heard that word used in a movie in that context.
Was it by one of the security guards?
I don't remember.
I feel like that one, I don't remember his name, but I see him as like the middle child.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he probably would have done it.
Yeah. It was very alarming to me. And then they had the cop and Mekhi Phifer like literally racially profiling each other.
Oh yeah.
Like that was very alarming too. What did he say? He's like, "Oh, you're gonna trust the guy that sells TVs at Best Buy?" And he was like, "Well, I'm sure as hell not gonna trust the guy who steals them." And I was like, "Whoa, this just turned."
Also, how do you steal a TV from Best Buy?
I don't know that he meant specifically Best Buy,
Oh,
but if you know how, I'm just kidding.
no. Please don't. But if
Yeah.
you do, don't. But we need emails. But don't say it.
I just can't believe that people literally go into Walmart, go pick up TVs, and just like walk out with them.
Yeah,
That's nuts.
indeed. I mean, they only have like elderly people sitting at the front. What are they going to do?
They're just greeting them and telling them goodbye.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
do you need help with that TV?
Yeah.
I'm good. Thank you.
You've done enough already.
Saved me so much money. Thank you, Walmart.
Yes. Walmart has the best prices.
10
10-finger discount because it did take both hands to get this bitch off the shelf.
Thank you for explaining what a 10-finger discount is. I thought it was fun and unnecessary when they decided to like retrofit the mall shuttles with like the barbed wire and the metal windows and bulldozer Tonka truck looking thing on the front that she spray painted for no reason.
She just looked so accomplished when she was done with that.
Like, this is helping.
She looked back at her work and she was like, the zombies are going to be afraid of this.
Right, Chip. And he probably barked a lot because that's all he fucking did.
I was like, why do I keep hearing? Do they have that in the background? Literally every scene since that dog has been introduced?
Yeah.
Yes.
And every time they show him, he's barking.
Yes.
But he has an adorable little backpack.
Him do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liked him.
That was really terrifying when they first introduced Chip and that zombie like came out of the fucking rafters. Like, how did he even get up there? Explain that to me.
You know, I was wondering that as well. And I don't know. But he was the one missing legs, right?
Yeah.
So all the zombies that they showed with like missing arms or legs were actual amputee actors.
Nice.
They did
I
the
love
same
that.
thing in the first one.
I love that. That's awesome.
So like right when they're trying to get in the mall,
Uh-huh.
and it shows this like group of zombies kind of like walking towards them, and the one in the front is missing, I think, both arms. So yeah, he was an amputee as well.
That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah. But yeah, they retrofitted all of their.
Is it inappropriate for me to say that I like that?
No.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
They retrofitted. Go ahead.
Yes. Or they outfitted all of their or these two mall shuttles, which I don't know of a mall personally that has shuttle service. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I also don't know
Bougie.
a mall that has guards as heavily armed as they were. So this must be a real bougie mall.
Probably for the shuttles.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had a whole baby store.
Guard the shuttles.
I thought it was a pet store at first. It looked like a pet store. The carousel store that she gives birth in looks kind of like a pet store. Anyway, but yeah, so their whole thing is one of the guys, Steve, who is played by Ty Burrell, who you probably know as Phil from Modern Family, has a boat, and he mentions that to them and says that, you know, if we can get there, then we can go to like an island or something. So that's their whole goal, is to they're going to try to get across the street to rescue this guy who has like a gun shop and bring him back and then go to the boat. So Andy dies.
That made me really sad because they had developed a friendship, and I thought it was funny that they had created lives for themselves. Like they were inside of the mall. That's where they were going to hide out. That's what they were going to do. And then Andy is by himself, but he can still communicate with them. And since he owns that gun shop, like he's kind of their entertainment. Like I spy, you know, what was one of the people?
they're looking for like celebrity lookalikes. So there's like a Rosie O'Donnell, there's a Burt Reynolds, Elvis. So yeah, they have huge dry rice boards, and they're giving him like targets, right? Yeah. And he just like one shots them in the head every time.
It was pretty funny.
But yeah, whenever they they lower Chip, the dog, down into the mass of zombies, and the whole thing is Andy is gonna like whistle or something from his side. Chip's gonna go in through a little door and bring him supplies, food. Yeah,
He was hungry.
and so that works. But when he goes into the door, one of the zombies grabs the door, so it's not able to close. So that's how he gets attacked, and Andy, not Chip, and he ends up dying. So there's that. They go into the shop and collect a bunch of guns and ammo and shit. They are off to
The
boat
boat.
land.
I want to mention that Pants told me yesterday in advance because he knows that I don't do well with anticipating injury towards animals. And
Same.
So I kept waiting for the dog. And I had to text him at one point in time because like, am I watching the right movie? Because there's not a lot left and I still haven't seen a dog. And it's making me anxious that we're not watching the same movie because we very quickly decided that we weren't going to do The Dark Tower and that we were going to watch Dawn of the Dead instead.
Yeah, I was also a little worried that you had started the old one, which I have not seen in forever, and I didn't remember if there was a dog in there or not. So, yeah, you sent me like a little video of what y'all were watching, and I was like, okay, yeah. And they were actually at the part right before Chip came. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought
and I was
that
like,
was
just
really
give
funny.
it like another minute and he will arrive. But yes, I did look up for your sake to make sure that Chip would not be harmed. And
Sorry.
And yeah, I was pretty sure from what I remember that he was fine, but I just want to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, there's also what I think is kind of a forced like romance between Anna and Michael that did not work for me
Yeah, it was weird.
at all, because like her husband died like a couple weeks ago, horrifically,
Uh-huh.
and she's already like making out with this guy who she just met, and then he dies. So
Well, you'd be surprised what people do in grief, too.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not condoning it because, again, I thought it was really weird, too. It did feel very forced.
sure.
But they're two people dealing with extremes. We've talked about this. Like, they're two people dealing with extreme
Yeah.
circumstances who are just seeking connections. But, yeah, I didn't like it either. Like, when they, like... and I kind of knew that that's the angle they wanted to get into, but I was really hoping that they weren't about to kiss, because there's a scene where they're on the bus and then they just have this like really unwarranted kind of makeout
Yeah.
sesh. It's really small, but I mean, they haven't had any build up to that,
Right.
and she's just kind of a dick to him, but in the sense that she's like a super smart ass. It didn't even come across as she was like that strong character who was like, this is wrong. Like, she just sounded whiny and annoying, even though I backed up what she was saying. And so it was really weird to just kind of throw a romantic connection there.
I did think the chainsaw window was very cool, though.
Except I don't know whose idea it was to give that man access to the chainsaw, because he killed himself.
Okay, well, not him, but just like the idea of it.
I know, and I'm just saying it is a great idea. Up until they were like, why don't you hold the chainsaw and turn it on before you get it through the hole, and then cut into this woman who is not a zombie.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they anticipated the rough ride that it was.
A rough ride indeed.
Yeah. The
How did they not anticipate that it was going to be a rough ride?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Continue. I didn't know if you had some kind of insight.
You're on the wrong side.
I didn't know if you had some kind of insight.
Well, in typical Zack Snyder fashion, there's a lots of cool explosions.
Yeah.
And I think one of the coolest ones was when they were, whenever they were trying to get out of the horde in the trucks, and CJ, not the last remaining, but one of the last remaining security guards throws like a propane tank into like the sea of zombies, and this one zombie just like picks it up and looks at it and holds it up for some reason, like he's like, here you go, you drop this, and they shoot it, And it just like the shot, the overhead shot of it was just really cool because everything kind of pulsed and all the zombies around them just fell. It was very satisfying.
Indeed.
Kind of like that shot in the beginning where before she crashes her car, and it's like that other overhead shot, and that car crashes into the 18-wheeler that then crashes into the gas station.
Yeah.
That was fun. I like that.
Me like you though.
Yep, I almost did it. But leave it to you, Tina.
Yeah, I got your back.
So whenever I think of this movie, which is not terribly often, but when I do, the first thing that really comes to mind besides the baby is the cover of Get Down with the Sickness that they play, and it's so good. And I forget who covered it. I know their last name is Cheese.
Nice.
But yes, that's why I remember it, because I also like cheese. But it's so good. That's all I have to say about it. But just like the way they played it over, you know, them just kind of going about their everyday lives now, and you know, playing games with Andy across the street and whatever. Because it kind of takes you a minute to realize what song it is. And it's very good when it kicks in.
Yeah.
And that was all Zack Snyder. He fought for like every song that was on this soundtrack. The producers and everything didn't agree with him at all on any of it. Like the Johnny Cash song and this one. They were pretty against it, but he fought for it. It was Richard Cheese, which is also almost like Dick Cheese, which is real unfortunate. I love the Dick Cheese cover of Down with the Sickness.
Yeah.
So good.
Gross.
I don't know why they never figured out to use like quieter weapons. It seemed like an oversight. You know, use an axe or something. That's something they learned to do on The Walking Dead. It's been like 15 years, so they did it now. But no, they're using like really loud fucking guns.
I agree. Draws a lot of attention.
It does. And then the dogs fucking barking all the time.
Well, the dog barking is definitely the reason most of them die.
Well, apparently they don't even care about the dog.
No, because Chip doesn't have to worry about anything. He literally is just following humans.
Yeah. Selfish bastard. He
And
just
when
gets
they
to
die,
go on field trips.
they'll just carry on.
Yeah. I think it's great.
I did learn that I really need to learn how to drive a boat.
Is that what you took away from this movie?
Yes.
Okay.
But then again, maybe that will make a difference, because it looks like in the ending credits, the island is also hella infested.
I don't know why they thought it wouldn't be if people were on that island.
I don't know. Like, how did that... I guess they never really talk about how it started.
No. I assume it was... It's never said in the movie, but I want to say I read that like on the back like cover of the movie, like the DVD or something, they do mention a virus. So it's never said if it's airborne. They don't know. So it's definitely not like Walking Dead rules, which is everybody's infected, but you don't turn till you die. You have to get bit in this situation.
Yeah.
So I assume people just be biting each other on islands.
So the guy, and I only want to make a quick mention of this because I don't know why it's always so cringy to me, but they introduce, and we're already way past that point, but they introduce the new group of people when that truck comes and it unloads, and there's the woman that's already turned to a zombie, and then you have the father and the daughter. You know, he says that she's lost everything and he's the last one.
Right.
He played Pestilence or like the Four Horsemen. He played Pestilence. I have such a hard time saying that. In Supernatural, and he, you know, that's like disease, and so like he's often very gross and like mucusy in that, and you know, I don't do really well with snot, and I thought that it was really funny that he wasn't necessarily portraying those things in this movie, but that has always given me like weird vibes when I rewatched Supernatural. And so watching him slowly turn into a zombie, I was like, dude, this guy gets like some sick roles. And it was really funny because we were watching it, and last night there was a really intense storm, and he dies, and you hear him turn and then a gunshot, and Liv like just jumped off the couch, and she was like, did you hear that? I was like, did I hear what? She was like, what was that? And she was like, pause it. I was like, well, he screamed and then they shot him. Is that what you heard? And she like slowly sits down, and she was like, probably.
There were subtitles.
I'm not convinced she's seen this movie before.
No, nope.
I love you.
I did not remember from the first time watching this, or for any of the times watching it, the whole end credit sequence with the island. That read is like completely new to me.
Oh.
And I don't know if it's part of the unrated or what, but I had never, or I don't remember seeing that. And it doesn't start too like long after the credits start. So I don't think when I saw it in theaters, I would have gotten up at that point, or I would have at least stopped.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That was interesting.
Yeah.
It didn't really add much, but there is a sequence.
It kind of did. They were screwed. Didn't they say the boat was running out of gas or something like that? That's why they had to pull over. And then like all these zombies just came out of the forest, and you were like, well, they're all dead.
Well, I mean, I assume that's the island they were going to.
Right.
So, I mean, they were going to have to pull off anyway.
I guess so.
But I mean, I didn't hear that, but I assumed they were going to anyway. But yeah, so during the credits, it shows them on the boat, and it's kind of filmed over Ty Burrell's character's video camera. So they're using the same tape essentially, and so it's kind of cutting in and out of like his excursions and times with women and shit like that, and just being a dick. And it's so weird that he played Phil on Modern Family, who's just like adorable and so nice, and here he's just a total jackass.
He brought a different kind of comedy to it when his character was introduced, though.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely like a smarmy.
He was that smart ass.
Yeah, exactly.
He nailed that role.
And that chick. But yeah, so it's cutting in and out between like his stuff, and then it shows them on the island or arriving at the island, and as you said, all of these zombies just come rushing out, and the camera falls down, and that's the end of that. But who found the tape?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
It's weird.
Yeah.
They should have done like a zombie movie and found footage. That'd be fun.
Ooh.
Why haven't
like
they?
Blair Witch?
Yeah.
Is this
I'm
like
sure there has
once
been.
the zombie apocalypse has like settled?
No,
or just
like,
somebody like randomly finding a camcorder and like looking at maybe somebody's experience as it's.
Well, I mean, that's kind of like the purpose of found footage, if somebody finds the footage. But like the movie.
You're such a dick.
No, I'm not trying to be. I'm just like, we're, in a found footage movie, we're the people watching this footage that was found.
Okay.
So I think a movie set during the zombie apocalypse, just in found footage, would be interesting. And I'm sure there is one, because there was just a slew of found footage stuff that came out, and I might just be forgetting it. So don't yell at me, but email us if that's correct. Did you have any closing thoughts on Dawn of the Dead?
Yeah. It wasn't quite as bad as I thought it was going to be in regard to scare, I guess. Like I said, I really don't do scary movies.
You don't?
And I don't do zombies more than just scary movies. I enjoyed it to a certain extent. It's not something I would probably watch again unless put into the right circumstance. But it was what it was, and I enjoyed it while I watched it.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So out of the two Zack Snyder movies we've seen, which do you like better?
I think that should be extremely obvious.
It's this one.
No. It is not.
It was the Whedon cut.
I don't understand. You asked me about Snyder.
I did.
Not Whedon.
Yeah, but Whedon just kind of took over after Snyder left.
Okay. Yep.
So this one is what we're saying.
No.
And this is also the second zombie movie we've technically watched as well.
What was the first one?
Evil Dead. More of a possession, kind of zombie-ish.
Right. I consider that more possession than zombie.
Oh, all right. Well,
Just my opinion.
yeah, whatever. Okay.
But-
Great.
So
Great.
Pants.
Yes, Christina.
Do you have closing thoughts on the movie?
Yeah, it was great. It's not streaming, so I'm sorry, but you should at least rent it if you've never seen it, and if you're cool with zombies. But as she said, it's not scary. It's just a lot of blood.
Yeah.
And there is an unrated and a rated R version. Again, I don't know a huge difference, but I think the only one I can think of is when Luda dies and the baby's coming, and you see blood just like shoot out between her legs. I don't think that was in the original. But that's all I can think of.
Okay.
And that could still be wrong, but I was watching it and I was like, oh my goodness. To be a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you know.
Yeah.
That scene is
Just shoots. That's pretty accurate.
Exactly what we go through.
So sorry.
Yep.
Anywho, so Tina,
Yes, Pants.
on a scale of 1 to 10, how many braless jogging zombie women would you give this movie?
5.
5 what?
I don't even know what you said. 5 braless jogging zombie women. I'd give it 5 of those.
Okay. I'll take that. That's good.
Yeah.
More than Jason X, which is weird, but okay.
Yeah. I think I put it at a 5 because I'm really indifferent about it.
Okay.
There was like some comical parts to it, but it is still a zombie movie, so
You're right.
I'm not going to put it any higher than a 5.
Gotcha.
But for a zombie movie, it was pretty tame. So, because I've seen some pretty gruesome shit in passing. Okay. So, Pants.
Yes.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how many worldwide plague-producing aggressive flesh-eating zombies would you give this movie?
Well, I feel like you could have just said zombies.
Nope.
A lot of extra words.
Well, you made me do them, and now you are going to.
That was your purpose.
I will repeat.
Oh my God. Well, then I need to write it down.
Worldwide plague producing aggressive flesh-eating zombies.
I will give it a 7 out of 10. Worldwide plague produced flesh. Aggressive flesh.
Yep. Spirit holes.
Eating
Yes.
zombies.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Also, would you take refuge in a mega Midwestern shopping mall?
Hell yeah. Why not? I mean, maybe not like.
I would just
I would
chow down on Sarku's.
I would definitely take refuge in the Galleria in Houston, but not some of like the other smaller malls in our area.
Yeah.
Because, they're losing all their good stuff.
Yeah. I
To
guess the
Amazon.
Galleria would have a lot of really good food options. That's all I'm concerned about. If I'm somewhere where I can at least.
Right. And if we get thirsty, that ice skating rink is gonna melt.
Oh, yeah. We could just have shaved ice every day.
Gross. I don't like snow cones.
You are.
You're
an
just
anomaly.
gonna eat ice? Like, where are you getting these flavors?
I don't know. I'm sure there's syrup somewhere. There's a Starbucks in there. Just have.
There's like 8 Starbucks in there.
There really are.
They're gonna run out of that peach shit real quick. All right.
Way to go, Starbucks.
Yeah.
Taking away one of our favorite drinks. It's okay. I get it.
All right. So it is my turn to roll. Is that right?
That is correct.
Wonderful. I'm gonna do it. Whoop, whoop. S.
S.
Thank you. All right. Next week we will be reviewing a movie of my choosing with the letter S as a starting point of the title. Tina, don't say anything. And until then, if you aren't subscribed, you should be.
Yeah. Make it 41.
Yeah. Give me that 41.
Give me that 41.
But yeah, you can review and subscribe and rate us on Apple Podcast. We are also on Spotify, Google Podcast, YouTube, and all the major podcasting platforms. You can follow us on Twitter at WTF Did I Watch Pod. Every week we post, what movies we're doing that week, and ask for suggestions and such.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure. You can also email us at Nope, sorry. You can also email us at WTFDidIJustWatchPod@gmail.com. Send us your questions, except for why pants is called pants, because I cannot tell you guys. I'm very sorry.
Yes.
It's not going to be worth the story.
I mean, if that's your email, that's fine, because I would just like to receive an email. But
we've received emails, pants.
Yeah, but
from our 40 followers. All of you just need to tell us hi.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful. Just give us some accolades, affirmations. Even, is what I was going for. But accolades,
affirmations.
Yep, I need them.
Yeah.
Very low self-esteem.
Yeah.
But
Nance did a fantastic job painting his office.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For saying that.
Yeah. I mean
it. See you.
If you want to see it, you can follow him.
Yep.
Except I don't know your handles. All the way home.
Yep.
I don't want you here.
And you can see it for yourself. Follow me all the way home. But yes, if you do want to email us, any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions,
affirmations.
Affirmations, yes.
Political opinions.
Don't do that.
Book suggestions.
I don't read
other podcasts.
Why are you listening to them? But any different thoughts or whatever your thoughts are on this movie or any movie that we've done in the past, we would love to hear them. And if you leave your name and general and general location, we can definitely give you a shout out on the show. So you'll be like 40 people more famous.
Yeah.
So until next week, all you 40 folks,
40,
all you cage colters.
What?
Witchy bitches.
Witchy bitches.
Bitchy witchies. Who knows? Friday freaks.
I'm done with you. Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate you, and we can't wait to see you next week.
We don't see anybody, Tina. Just each other.
I just see zombies in my dreams.
It was fun. Ah! Spooky.
Get out.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.